Ben Farinazzo is one of the athletes chosen to represent Australia at the Invictus Games in the powerlifting and indoor rowing competition. He served in the military as an army officer and deployed as a part of the international force in East Timor, otherwise known as Interfet. After serving the country for over 10 years, Ben transitioned back into civilian life. In recent years, Ben and his family have faced some significant challenges.
About 3 years ago, I reached the lowest point in my life. I got diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, anxiety and depression as a result of my time in the military. I spent about a year in a mental health hospital away from my family.
Ben not only suffered mental wounds from his time in the military, but also physical wounds as a result of a bike accident that almost cost him his life.
Whilst I was trying to recover in the period between stays at the mental health hospital, I got a mountain bike, took it for a ride, and as I was coming down a hill and turning a corner over a footbridge, I slipped and went face first into a boulder, smashed my teeth out and broke my neck and back in about 5 places. I literally hit rock bottom at that time.
Following his accident, Ben's physical rehabilitation and recovery was supported by the team at Matrix Physiotherapy and Sports Rehabilitation. Jonathan Carey, a physiotherapist at Matrix, has played a key part in supporting Ben and other veterans.
I took over Ben's care probably a couple of years ago now, but when Ben first came, again, like I said, he was a bit beaten and bruised, and both inside and out.
I remember when we first started, all I was able to do was try to lift a broomstick above my head. Had to learn how to try to get in and out of bed again and how to try to walk up and down stairs. And I remember thinking, oh, Ben, you've got a long way to go.
And we helped him along the way, setting and achieving little mini goals.
We had this little motto up above my bed, a little card on it that said return to life. My aim was to get myself well enough so that I could care for myself and get back home to my family.
Basically, Ben had dropped down to a certain level because of his injuries, both mental and physical as a result, and we just help him build back up.
One of the things that I decided to do was to get involved in sport, and I went back to my first love, which was rowing. I remember my first goal was just to get down there and just to get onto the water, and just to sit in the boat on the water. For me, rowing was not just about the physical side of trying to strengthen your body, but it was also a spiritual connection that I had with just being out on the water at that time of day, seeing the sun come up, a new day starting, seeing the birds, and just taking time to appreciate the fact that I could be there.
Alison Cray is a former one-star general in the Australian Army and is one of the indoor rowing coaches supporting our veterans at the Invictus Games.
Serving is a risky business. What we do is war fighting, and many of the men and women who've served the Australian Defence Force carry scars and wounds from their service. They can be physical, like amputations, traumatic brain injuries, life-changing events that have impacted their ability to perform their roles, through to invisible wounds, mental injuries, some forms of stress, anxiety, depression, all the way through to post-traumatic stress.
Alison believes that sport is a critical part of veterans' rehabilitation and recovery from any type of injury.
It allows them to work in teams, it allows them to share their experience with like-minded other veterans, and it really, I guess, gets them back into a way of competing and a way of feeling proud of their efforts.
And I met up with Alison Cray. At that time she was talking to me about this thing called the Invictus Games.
The Invictus Games are an international multi-sport competition for current and former serving military personnel who have been wounded, injured, or become ill during their military service.
When I looked into it, realised that I wasn't quite ready to step out of my comfort zone.
Recently, Ben's attitude and his attendance at his physio sessions in the gym has been faultless. He hasn't missed a session. His motivation has been super high. What it's done for Ben is focused his attention and been able to see that Ben's been really healthy from a body and a mind point of view.
After about 12 months, there was another opportunity again to put in an application for the Invictus Games. I discussed that with my wife and Alison and decided that I was at a point in my recovery where I was ready to give it a shot. I was so excited to.
I think Ben's super excited about the opportunity to compete at the Invictus Games, and so our goal really is to get him there and just to get him to do his best, and if that results in a medal, then we're going to be super happy. If it doesn't, we're going to be just as happy.
I just want to put a shout out to Ben Farinazzo, who is really quite remarkable and is doing such a fantastic job, and I think at the end of the day will be one of our stars at the Invictus Games 2018, if I predict. Hopefully a medal winner, but just a star because of the amazing progress that he's made, but he's inspiring others. That's what I think is really impressive.
And the support provided by the coaches and the other athletes have just been so humbling and rewarding. I really enjoy the process.
For any kids that are interested in the Invictus Games, I'd say talk to your mum and dad and tell them to buy tickets because it'll be really worth seeing. But if you don't get an opportunity to get up there and experience it firsthand, jump online and follow it live. They've taken what would be a real hardship and they've made something of it, and they're really inspiring. So their stories alone are great, and the competition's going to be pretty tough, pretty fierce, but I think Australia's got so much potential, it's really exciting.
Just to know that you guys are there and supporting us just means so much. Thank you.